Hello everybody, it's Vintage here and I'm bringing you another game of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void action here on Pro Terraces. In the bottom right we have the red Protoss, it is RotterdaM. And in the top left we have the Jiba TONNYXX, the blue Terran player. So TVP on Pro Terraces, obviously this map is a bit weird because of the gold natural here. And already this SCV going off on a strange path. I wonder where he's going before I can even get into the. I know where this SCV is going. He might be. I think he's quite likely he's going to proxy Iraq here, as he has enough money. But up home, yeah, look where he's heading. He's going to proxy Iraq, so probably gonna. He hasn't because he hasn't started. He's only now just starting his gas. He is probably going to just go for the Reaper proxy here, as you would normally expect from that kind of proxy on this map because of this cliff as well. But he did only send one SCV, so there's only going to be one Rex here, so it's not going to be like this insane proxy, but let's look at how RotterdaM's opened. He has actually gone pretty standard gate and then gas before Nexus. So, depending on whether he chooses to go straight into Nexus or drop down a Cybercore means, like, it might just depend on how well he's equipped to deal with this, but 2-1 gas. And he's banking up a fair amount of minerals, but I think he will throw down a Cybercore here. Like, he's not a guy that likes to play too cheeky, even though he's known for that kind of thing, but there is that Cybercore. And he's going to just head down here with the probe, take the Nexus, as he's banked up that much money, but he can't build anything out of anything particularly useful just yet, so he may as well throw down that Nexus at the gold base as well and get himself a nice advantage. The barracks is done and the Reaper is being produced, and this SCV is just going to hide away over here as opposed to returning home or anything else. But Reaper's about halfway done. The Cybercore is nearly finished though, so if Roy is prepared for this, the Cybercore can go up and he can just chrono out a Stalker or something, which should be enough to try and push away this Reaper, maybe even an Adept if he wants to try and catch that as well. And he's going to chrono out a Stalker here. Now it will be quite good to know this Reaper is just coming in, but the chrono is going to be allow him to get that out just in time. The Reaper does have that grenade, which is going to be a little bit annoying. I mean, this Reaper's going to get a little bit more none than Roddy would like, because he has to now pull probes. Needs to be careful. Just get a little bit of damage onto that Stalker, and the Reaper, the gateway is rallied onto the Reaper there, so the Stalker will pop out and dive straight on that Stalker. And the barracks is flying home across the map as well. So he's not going to try and commit, so it's just one Reaper trying to get it in really fast, but the Reaper does get pushed away, and if we have a look, he actually got 3 workers there, which is quite nice. Like, he delayed any more production at this barracks, but you know, usually like you can open Reaper anyway in this matchup, so it's not like too much of an investment. I'd say 3 probes, that's quite nice. But behind this, he's built a factory. He's getting the tech labs. Probably going to build a cyclone straight out of that in case of any kind of warp prism shenanigans. I'm going to put on that second command center as well. I'm not going to go on the low ground, put it on the high ground just to stay safe, because he didn't actually scout whether or not RotterdaM had a Nexus, so he doesn't know whether or not more gateways are going down right now, as that Reaper did die. So he just want to be a little bit safer here. So building that CC on the high ground. But that Cyclone is coming out. There's actually a Twilight Council coming in here for RotterdaM, so I want to know what he's going to plan to do with this. It could be Blink, it could be Adept attack speed, but I don't think that's likely because he opened Stalker and he has built just Stalker so far, so it's quite likely going to be Blink. As with the Adept speed upgrade, you'd most likely want a Robo of some kind for a Warp Prism, so you can get those Adepts in to the main base. But yeah, it's going to be Blink here. And a Forge is going down behind this as well, so I reckon this is going to be kind of a defensive Blink, like with the addition of the Forge and the double Forge here as well. This is definitely defensive Blink here to try and maybe deal with those Liberators, catch them out, so he doesn't lose too many Stalkers in the process trying to deal with them. And there is actually a Liberator on the way, which was proxy tier as well. So this is going to show up a lot faster than you'd be expecting, but he is throwing down more gateways. Warp Gate is done, and he's getting Blink on the way, so he should have enough to do with this, as well as the Mothership Core being out. And this pylon placement is really nice as well, because if the Liberator was to park back here and just put his Liberation Zone down on this mineral line here, he can just photon overcharge and be able to get that Liberator, as it does not have Liberator range. But the gold base now has been taken here for TONNYXX. He's just going to do the Tasia wall off, like the straight wall, when there's nothing to really worry about, just to make sure no Adepts can run by. What I would like to see him doing here is really transferring a lot of his SCVs down to his natural here, because you may think like, oh, this is kind of bad, like I'm not doing any mining and my main's completely empty, but you're on a gold base here. If you send 12 workers down to your gold base, you're making so much more money, and all that delay is totally worth it, because you can just rally SCVs back into your main base to resaturate that. Yeah, that's exactly what Roddy's done here. He's actually just moved all his probes down. which is pretty nice. A lot of the pylons being back here again to put on overcharge. Watch out for those liberators. And I'm assuming one did come in as his stalkers are in position here to deal with that. And it's finished a while ago, but I'm assuming it did die. We can actually check if we shift L. Yeah, that liberator did in fact die, so we did catch that, which is really nice. And I'm not sure. It got one more probe, so that wasn't really worth there for TONNYXX. But now the stalker's going to move out across the map. He isn't actually aware of the second liberator. I don't think he realizes it was proxied. Where is he going? Actually, that's interesting. Is he just gonna? Probably just gonna like rally behind. Oh, he's just going the long way around to. Oh, he's gonna check for the third at the gold base, and then he's probably gonna go behind this middle one here. But there is a mothership core with lots of pylons. So right, he's gonna kind of push up the map. Widowmine does go nice blink, baiting the Widowmine there. He's gonna check again for a second Widowmine with his other stalker. But there is something in that bunker just yet. It is finished. He might want to occupy that, and there he does. And that starport is returning home, but RotterdaM's going to keep the pressure on, stop him, keep taking third base, keep him good hand on 2 bases. But tanks are coming out now. Stim is about to be finished here, so we just want to be careful as these stalkers could get a little bit caught out. But that being said, Right has it 1-1, about to finish. He has +1 armor, his +1 weapons about to finish. Charges on the way as well. More gateways in the robo coming down. So Bright is gearing himself up to be in a really nice spot this game. He's fully saturated on 2 bases, one of which being a gold. He's looking to take a third Nexus here. He's got the money. The probe's already in position. That Nexus should just go down momentarily. But the stalkers are just going to return home here, as I think they realise that their time out on the map is kind of over. But he's going to leave one stalker out just to spot for any army movement here from TONNYXX, which is quite smart. And he does have control of both of these watchtowers as well to spot for any drops of liberators coming in. That Nexus does go down as well. But if we have a look in the main base here of TONNYXX, what do we see? Well, he's mining out on his main base. He's got a lot of racks coming in. And the starport just landed. And one thing to note is he's not even attempted to build a third TC just yet. He looks like he's just going to ramp up his production, get a lot of units out, and go with +1 combat shields. Like, that's what I reckon he's going to try and do here. Because no third base by now is really late. Like, really about now, towards maybe 8-9 minutes, that's when you're going to start thinking about getting your 4th command center. So the fact that he's not got his 3rd at all yet, even started, it's definitely showing that he wants to go kind of really for a huge attack on 2 bases. But actually, like, he's doing that command center now. This is actually really late. Like, if we look at the Nexus over here, it's basically done here for RotterdaM. So he's going to be really far behind, like, actually in the economy. And he's just, I mean, he's got a lot of production on 2 bases. Yeah, it's a gold base for sure, but he's going to be actually really, really far behind on the economy, on the upgrades as well. Like you see, he's got +1 attack on the way, and that's only really about halfway done. Look on this side of the map, double forge here for RotterdaM, chrono boosting out 2-2. So he's going to have a huge, huge upgrade advantage. And actually, I think TONNYXX is in a lot of trouble. Like, he's really far behind economically. His 3rd command center is like halfway done. The 3rd base is already up and mining here for RotterdaM. What do you do here as TONNYXX? I think really throwing down the 3rd command center was a mistake. I think you should maybe 1 or 2 more racks, just pumped out a ton of units and gone across the map and tried to do as much damage as he can before Rotty could ever get himself into a position really where he could be mining so long that he could just build up this army that you can't stop. Because really, like, if this base hadn't gone up before the attack started, then really I think like Tony would be in a good position to try and do a lot of damage before Rotty has a chance really to get any amount of units out to deal with this. But like, he's delayed it so long. 2-2's about to be done. The 3rd base is already up and mining. He's got charge as well. So I think he has the right idea, but he started taking it too late. He waited till the 3rd TC was done before he decided to try and make that attack. But then he didn't know, he wasn't really aware about the 3rd base, but he should kind of be aware of his own economic position, that he should be in a bit of trouble there. But blinks forward, nearly picks off a medevac though, the T-Tank thing. That would have been really nice. Zealot's charging forwards, getting on top of that bio, and this is just an absolute crushing fight here for Rotty. TONNYXX's forces just get absolutely ravaged from the defense here, and actually just blinking forward, chasing this army back with the stalkers, with the zealots, and sentry there for guardian shield. And those upgrades really just making this such a hard fight for TONNYXX. Like 2-2 versus +1 attack, that was never going to end well for the Terran, especially when the army supply really wasn't that different. And now he's in a lot of trouble. He's got no units, he's on 2 bases. Yes, the 3rd command center's done, but it's a 3-base Protoss with better upgrades. And Rotty should just looking to close this out very soon here. Admittedly, this force isn't very strong, but there are a lot of reinforcements on the way, and if he fights with everything, he should be able to break this ramp. The bunker does go down, the army is quite weak, but there is a Widowmine on the ramp there he doesn't need to worry about. And he knew it was there, he triggered it earlier, but it might have moved, but it is in fact still there, so if he's not careful, he could lose some sizable amount of forces to that Widowmine. He's going to try and take his 3rd command center, and why is he not going for that other gold base? Because he knows it's so far away he won't ever be able to secure it. So he's going to go and try and take the base that is easier to secure. Like, you can kind of fight with your ramp and the 3rd base here, it's much easier to defend. but it isn't a gold base anymore, so you don't get that burst of income from it. That being said, Righty is going to take the other gold base here, on the far right as his 4th base. So he's going to have a lot of money to work with here, and considering he's going for a Stalker Charter-Lot style, that seems to be kind of having a lot of mineral income seems to be like a really good decision. So going for that gold base is great. Just because Stalkers, they don't cost that much gas. Zealots are pure minerals. So if you're going for mostly those units, you want a lot of mineral income, and it means you could just make so many units here as well. And that +3 coming out as well here, when it's still only +1 attack and +1 armor, only halfway done here for TONNYXX. Like, this game is pretty over. Let's be honest. It's more about what TONNYXX can now do to try and get himself back in this game. Well, I think first he needs to be a little bit more active on the map. Maybe send off 1-2 more medevacs, come around the side here, drop the main base to take out these the forges, the Twilight Council, unpower these gateways. Be really annoying is considering where Roddy's army is as well. Maybe send another one to the far right here, disrupt the drops, try and stop the disrupt with drops, try and stop the 4th base, try and do damage to the 3rd as well. He needs to kind of be really active and, you know, buying himself a lot of time to get out the units he needs to try and maybe defend and attack, because right now he's just sitting at his 3rd base building units. He's like, well, like, I can sit here on my 3rd base oversaturated with 23 out of 16 and be like, yo, I can defend, right? No, you're really far behind. You need to like be out on the map, buying yourself time, because if you're out dealing damage right now to the main base, to the economy of Roy, you can now get out your Ghost Academy, your Liberate account can increase, right? Like, that's the things you need to be doing. Whereas now, like, he's just sitting at home waiting for RotterdaM to come to him, and that's a mistake, I think. Like, yeah, he's got Liberators, yeah, he's got Siege Tanks, like, pulled back, but really, like, he's going to be +3, like, 3-3, +1-1. Like, this is not going to be a fight you can win. Like, he's now finally loading up a drop, right? But if he'd been doing this maybe 2 minutes ago, like, I think he would be in a workable position. Not the best one, for sure, but in a workable position. If you're doing lots of damage in the main to the base, like, you have to defend that as RotterdaM. You can't let your 4th go down. You don't really want to lose those upgrades. And now RotterdaM's just going to just walk over this armies, because there's not enough damage output here at all because of that lack of upgrades. And yeah, this game is pretty over, and RotterdaM with quite a convincing game. Just walk into the natural hero with his Charter-Lots, just tearing everything up. One Liberator is not going to be enough to stop that at all. And just start to just tear up the infrastructure here as well. He's going to try and turtle up in the main base, a couple more Liberators, but I mean, they will clean up Zealots, but because of the upgrade disadvantage, like, they are just, those Liberators are taking a serious beating. The Zealots taking a serious beating from the Liberators without actually going down. So it's just the upgrade disparity is really kind of the story of this game, I think. Like, the fact that Rotti was able to get up to 3-3 before actually TONNYXX would get to 1-1, and there, just leaving the game there without a GG. Rip. That was a good game. I think, like, it really was a really good game from RotterdaM. Absolutely. There were definitely things that he could have done, like, to maybe try and get back in this game. Like, maybe it wouldn't have been a winnable position, but he could have been in a workable spot. So if he had been sending off drops, like he'd been coming, like, he had one in the main here that I missed completely. You know, terrible observing skills. But if he had this drop in the main a bit while ago, he's forcing warpins away from the main army. He's forcing overcharges. He actually got one of the forges, but way too late, right? If he had got that before +3 armor had finished, that would have been great. Maybe if he got both. If at the same time he had one medevac over here, just, you know, being annoying, maybe just cancelling the 4th or just killing probes, or one over here killing probes as well, tearing like RotterdaM apart and fighting his army in small pieces. That's when it becomes winnable, in my opinion. And maybe again, sorry, maybe not winnable, but like a lot more workable. Once you're doing that, you're also buying yourself time. You can get ghosts out, you can get a high Liberate account, you can get better upgrades, you can take a 4th base. Like, you need to be buying yourself time as a Terran in this kind of situation. But like, really, he was just sitting at his 3rd. Like, he was sitting here, like, completely oversaturated, trying to build as much as he could. And that really just wasn't what he needed to be doing at all. Like, if he had been, like, stretching RotterdaM out as far as he could and trying to buy himself the most time rather than just sitting at home waiting for Roy to come to him, then maybe he's in a position he can work with. But I don't know, like, when you're in... And I'm not saying I could have done that because I'm terrible, but this guy's Grandmaster, he should be, like, a lot more capable than that. And, like, I understand that when you're sitting there, you're like, oh man, I'm getting completely wrecked. I have to just, like, make units so I can defend, right? Like, you have to be really thinking about the bigger picture, I think, and that's, like, something that's quite important when it comes to playing a game of StarCraft. Anyway, so thank you all for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you all next time.